Okay, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go into the product line parts and pricing. I showed you the basic breakdown of what everything's looking for. I'm going to show you some of the other menus that let you control special pricing by customers, by product lines to give them the exact pricing structure they need. So from number 4, in the number 5 menu, pricing setup, this is where the price schedule codes live and all the other specialty kind of menus for pricing. Okay, I'm going to go into one just to refresh your memory. One, this is where the price schedule codes that every customer has to have a code to get proper pricing. Okay, now again, what's setting here is your base price structure, and these other menus we're going to go into are going to show you exceptions to these rules. Okay, so if you have 2 ones, from the pricing menu, you could go to number 2, price schedule by product line. I like to go into number 1, edit by schedule. Number 2, edit by product line. It's the same information. Anything changed in either of those 2 screens is held. It's all in the way it sorts it. So some people like in number 1 view, some people like number 2 view. Just all in their personal preference. I'm going to go into 1. Going to ask me if I want to check for new product lines and sublines in case I've loaded new part numbers. If you say yes, it'll do accounting. If you say no, it'll just go right into the program. Okay. Now, what this shows you is, again, grouped by the price schedule code, starting with number 9, and then all product lines A through Z as you page down, but all for this group of customers with a code 9. Okay, then when code 9 ends, it goes to the next alphabetical or numeric price schedule code, starting the product lines over alphabetically. Okay, now I'm going to F2 to exit, and we're going to go to screen 2 so you can see the difference. This is now grouped by product line. So when we go into 2, same question, I'll say no. Now what this is showing is by product line. So here's a product line listing, and here's all of the different price schedule codes we have. So depends what you're doing as to what screen you're going to use. If you're working on custom pricing for everybody in Schedule 9, use the previous screen. If you're working for custom pricing by a product line, like A1 Cardone, use the second screen. Okay, so what this is showing you is by product line and by the group of customers with a code 9, instead of their normal routine for pricing, in A1 Cardone, A1C, the system is told to go to line 2 at the part number to get the price, and then do nothing with it. That's a 0. Don't do anything with it. Bring the price. That's the price. In this example, any customer with a JOB price schedule code is told on A1C to go to line 2 and take an additional 5% off. And then the same thing with the code S, told to line 2 and take an additional 10% off. And this group here, for the shop customers, told to go to line 3 at the part number and take an extra 10% off. These will override your normal price routines out of the price schedule master. Okay, I'm going to have to exit, come twice, come back out to the pricing menu. Now if you have one customer number that needs special pricing, you use option 3. Go to 3 for customer exceptions, number 1 for single customer mode, enter his customer number and press enter, and you can see he already has Wix in here at a special rate. It's telling to, on this customer 100, go to Wix product line, go to cell ID number 1, which is the cost, and add 15%. So that's way different than what his other structure was, which I believe he was a jobber, which is told to go to line 2 and bring the price. So to add any product line, you press F6 to add. You'll have a box pop open. This is where you can add whatever product line you want, like A1C. And if you're going to give it for just a group of parts, you can add the subline here, and it'll just touch that group of parts with that special subline code. You can tell it where you want it to go to get its cost for selling in the invoicing. You can do a 1 for cost, a 2 for jobber, a 3 for dealer. I'll set a 1 for cost and say let's add 20%. Okay, and then you can enter through. You see it add in the background. When you're done adding, press F2 then boom, you're done. You can edit this after they're in, and you can do any changes you want. Doesn't matter. You can edit it. You don't have to delete it and recreate it. Okay? Now the other thing you have the ability to do, and some people do this with front-wheel drive axles or things that do sell pretty much like the same price across the board. When you hit the F6 to add, when you're setting up your stuff, again, knowing what it is, but you have the option here to set a fixed amount. So maybe an axle, every axle is $59.95. So you can set that there, whatever the product line code is, axle, and everything is $59.95. Doesn't matter. Okay? And then when you add that through, and it sets axles, net price, $59.95. So it's special pricing by customer. Okay? F2 to exit and take you back out to the pricing menu. Now, if you have a customer that needs a special price on one part number only, that's doable. Option 4, customer by part number. 1 to edit for a given customer. Who the customer number is, press enter and then F1, and you'll do a 1 to edit to manually add it in. Now you see other options here. You can merge from a part file, so you can bring in a group of numbers with a subline code or the whole line, and you can go through there and set special custom pricing by each part number if you like. I'm going to go to 1 to edit, and we're going to just put one single part number in. We're going to F6 to add. Product line is Wix. Part number is a 51515, and he gets them for 99 cents every day of the week. Okay, we'll test that theory right now. F2 back out to invoicing, customer 100, and a Wix 51515. He's 99 cents. Even though I'm losing 76% on the sale of that item because I told it 99 cents is okay. Otherwise, it would have let you know that there was a problem with the pricing. Okay, going to exit. F2 options, F4 for cancel invoice, and Y for yes to cancel the invoice. F2 once, back to the main. So we'll go back into 4. 5 for pricing setup. 4 for customer by part number. 1 to edit for the given customer. His number, enter, and F1, and a 1 to edit. I know it's deep, but because there's so many choices along the way. If we F3 to delete that, it leaves just like that. If we go back to invoicing to retest, it was 99 cents. It's now $6.60. That's what the override table allows you to do. Now, at this point here, there is also a quick way to get at invoicing. On the keyboard, if you hold the control button on the bottom left, CTRL button, hold it down, hit the letter X, and it'll just take you out. It saves you 3 keystrokes. Press F2, you're back to the main. I will go back into 4 and see what else I kind of haven't hit yet from the pricing menu. 5 is sale prices. It lets you import or add or do whatever you want to do. Bringing in prices usually for the like a month span if one of your suppliers is having a deal. You can set product lines and part numbers. You can merge them in. You can import them in from an Excel spreadsheet with the product lines, part numbers, and the special cost, the selling price, and maybe a minimum quantity. Maybe they got to buy 12 or 10 to get the deal. And a starting date that's effective and an ending date that says it's no longer effective. So once the ending date ends, the price goes away even though it's still in this table. So you can get it cleared out whenever you need to. Okay, we'll do an F6 to add just so you can see the box. So we can do a Wix 51515 and enter. Here it is. So the sale cost, that's our normal cost, $4.16, but maybe sale price is $3.50, $3.55. The retail sale price, sorry if I went too far, is going to be, say, $6 now. And the starting date is today, the ending date is today. So today, this should come up at $6. Unless he still has this. No, he doesn't. So he should get at $6 now instead of $6.60. $6 right out of the special sale price table. Control X to exit quick. F2. Alright, then 4 and 5 and 5 again, sale prices. I'm going to take that out, F3. Okay to delete, yes. Sometimes it asks you, sometimes it doesn't. F2 once, I'm back here. Now option 6 is assorted volume pricing, which is like also known as tiered pricing or velocity pricing. This is where you can set up to 4 more discounts based upon quantity being purchased in the invoicing screen. I'm not going to get into it because it's very complex. You won't be setting it up. You'll be giving me the customer who needs it set up if you run across one. But this allows you again to say regular price $10. If he buys the case of 12, it's going down to $9. If he buys another 12, maybe it's going to $8.50. If he buys another 12, it can go to $8.25. If he buys another 12, it can go to $8. So 4 more drops besides normal price breaks. So very, very fine-tunable. 7 is gross margin by adjustment for price. Basically, this is what they call aggregate pricing. I'll just go in there and take a look at the screen. But again, very complex to set up. It can do it, but this is where you can say anything that costs me like a penny to 50 cents, I want to make 85% gross profit. Anything from 51 cents to 99 cents, I want to make 80%. From $1 to $1.26, I want to make 62%. This is where you set that up. Okay, and you can also do this selective by product line. So even though you set this up, you don't need to do it for everything across the board all at once. You can go selectively set it up by product line. So dormant little tiny stuff, yes, you can get lots of gross profit on those little tiny screws, nuts, washers, clips, cotter pins, everything like that. So that's good for that. Okay, F2 to exit one time. The last thing on this menu is 8, the cost matrix. It's kind of like the automatic price adjustment in Autolog, where you can go in and set values. So when you drop in a new price update file and you drop it in the jobber, the matrix can hold your discount from jobber and set your selling costs based by gross profit percentage to your other levels, like your selling levels 3, 4, and 5, and 6, or whatever. Okay. Again, more than you need at this point. You can go in there and take a look at it. If you have any questions, let me know. We can import some of that, Gary says. I've never seen it import properly, but he says we can do it. I'll have to see. Typically, we go in and set that up based upon the guy's discount sheet that he gets from the warehouse. Okay. I'm going to have to exit, come back to the part file menu. Now, 6 here is where you go into Parts Genie. So you go into 6. You have multiple options, obviously, but one is if they're still old-fashioned using a Parts Genie disk in the CD-ROM drive. Number 2 is where you go to Parts Genie on the internet connection, which is what most people are doing. So go to 2. So here's all your choices that Jim White has created for us. Number 1 is all the major manufacturers. Number 2, all the way down, is based of the individual warehouses by name. Everybody has their own special password to get into each group of warehouse pricing. So as we go through there, your customers will need who they need to have. Other than that, they'll use major manufacturers for the rest of the stuff, or 90% of that is probably going to be off spreadsheets anyway, so we'll just take it from there. I'm going to go through a drill real quick where we can go into major manufacturers. We'll grab a listing because I know Brad hasn't seen this stuff yet, and show them how we put it into the AIS system. So we'll go into 1 for major. We're going to go to 2 to select everything in here. Let's go down to ATP is a good one. So here's my line. You hit highlighted, hit enter. We'll display everything that they have to offer. Part numbers. If there is sublines codes, they'll be listed here. Descriptions. Here is the jobber price. Here is any selling prices and on the SN and U when applicable. And here's the list price on L. When it's not applicable for selling, usually they just fill it in with list like they did here. So What this file is good for is jobber to get your and set your discount to get your cost, and list price. Selling prices you have to create. Manufacturer is not supplying them. So when you're done viewing them, and like I said, you can arrow down to get a line page down at a time to if you want to go view file. When you're ready to apply, F2 to cancel the screen view. Moves you to the screen and says, okay, so here's the file ATP, here's the name of it, here's the price date, or the effective date on the price sheet. And so this is asking, update the product line. ATP is the brand name, but what does this customer call it in his AIS system? Is it ATP? Not in file. Is it some other brand? We don't know. Maybe it's a brand new line I'm putting in. ATP, not in file. That's okay. It'll create it. Let me put it in the system anyway. This lets you update warehouse quantity, so it sees the packages, 20 in a pack, 25 foot on a roll, 8 in a pack of spark plugs, whatever. That's the warehouse quantity if you have to buy that level on. If it's part of the price update file, it will go right to the file and add in there. If you want to add a subline manually to this, every number on this file though, it's not selective. This is where you can add a subline to here to add to the whole ATP line. In A1 Cardone, as an example, you get 15 or 20 different files, so you can build your own sublines with the individual files from A1 Cardone. Otherwise, leave it blank. Don't worry about it. If you know your discount from Jobber, that's important because that's where you're going to get your cost. So I'll say I'm getting a 25% discount. And we're going to put Jobber on our price to Jobber. Again, we didn't have selling prices because they didn't supply us any. And 5 is already set for list. If you forget what is where, here's a legend that reads right from your part numbers in the part single mode screen. Here's your field names. So if you ever forget, just look here. Here it is. Okay. We pretty much always leave core sell and core purchase at the 14 and 15. If there's cores involved, they're populated automatically. If there's no cores involved, they get a 0.00 price, which is the right price for a line and a part number with no core. No problem. Okay, so this is a line not in file, no problem. We're going to F1 to execute. It's going to tell me that the target product line not found. Is it okay to continue? I'm going to say Y for yes, and it's going to make ATP product line code for me, so it put all these part numbers in there. It's making the code now. Here's how many new numbers it's going to load based by the pop code. Do we want to load them? All by default is a yes. If you don't want to load new numbers, your space bar to clear out the Y so that those will not load. But I'm going to load them because this is a new line. So we're going to F1 to execute. Here they go in. Here's the barcodes automatically fall in with them too. The UPC codes, if they're available, all come with all the Parts Genie price update files. Okay. Now, let's go do another line like BBB that I actually know I do have in the system. I don't have BBB here. Son of a gun. I have Baldwin. Let's do Baldwin. Okay. So here's, again, same structure. Part number. If subline codes were there, they would be there. The description. Here's the blue sheet jobber price. Here is the yellow sheet selling prices, so Baldwin supplies them. And here's the list price. So good shape here. F2 to cancel the screen view. Now what's the brand code? BAL for Baldwin. Enter. Oh, you telling me that's not there too? I apologize. Get something that I know is there. Sorry, guys. Gates, I know is in there. They call it belt. Okay. Doesn't matter. It's Gates. Product line is BEL. See, it doesn't have to correlate to anything at all anyway. It recognizes it. I'm just going to tell you, I see 677 part numbers to update. These are all new numbers to load. Do we want to load them? Yes. F1 to execute. And then there's the barcode. UPC is going in right behind the price update file. Okay. Now I'm going to just F2 to exit out. Now we were going to look at the new line of ATP to show that I didn't get any prices. Well, ain't that a fine how do you do? Bill, what'd you break? See if I can't fix it real quick. Oh, too much stuff in this box, though. Ooh. Okay. ATP. The part numbers went, I just didn't get any prices. That doesn't make sense. Well, that's not a good training, guys. That sure sucks when shit don't work right. Or maybe we'll just set the numbers. 100, 101. Oh, that's all I got. No. Let's try it again. ATP. Enter. See, it didn't say not in file because it's there. I just don't have a name on it. We're going to set a 25 discount. 2 going to, jobber going to 2. Oh, okay. That's why, because those are all non-good numbers. Okay, so they were in there all the time. Problem was that they were the big numbers, not the small numbers. So there's our price structure, 25 discount. I'll show you a little trick to look at. I'm going to go back up to the top. Okay, from this screen, I'm going to hit F7 to select a screen. I'm going to hit F4 for descriptions and codes. Now, what you will see in this UPD column, that's the price updating column, you'll see one of 3 codes in here after price update is run. And one is a U saying that number was here and I updated it. The other is an N. It would say it was not here and it's newly loaded. Or it'll be a $ sign and that says it was in the system but it was not on the price file, so it must be obsolete. So that's what you'll see in the UPD code anytime after price updates run. So customers can go through there and see what $ signs are sitting there and say, like, I got to get those returned because they're gone obsolete. So that's a good screen view to use after you do price updating. Okay. Again, F7 lets you choose different screen views of information here. If I do F1, I'll see the first 5 prices. F2 is the next set of prices. F3 is another set of prices. F4 is descriptions and all the codes. F5 is your quantity on hands, buy increments, stock levels, and sales history. F6 is pretty much the same, but a few different things. F7 is only sales history, and F8 is core prices, weight, bin locations, message numbers, and sequencing numbers. I'll do an F5. Here's all my same part numbers, but my quantity on hand. So that way if they're going to be doing an inventory, this is where they can come and manually set their inventory. We can always import stuff to help them out if it's a big line. If it's small, they can do it manually. It gives them a good training session. Okay, and they have 2 out, and that's the price updating and the price structuring. I'm going to go to the next one after that, and we'll get into like the reports and stuff like that after that. All right, talk to you later.